My name is Dilara Simal, and I'm from Istanbul, Turkey. I'm studying MEM right now at Duke University. And over the summer, I had the opportunity to do a product management internship at Walk Optical. And this was my first internship experience in the US. So I was very excited and it went great. So Walk Optical is a manufacturing company that produces ophthalmic lenses and all the surgical equipment for ophthalmic industry. And my project in this was Walk is developing a new telemedicine software for retinal screening. And my goal for this summer was to develop a strong pricing model for this software. So first, I will start with defining the problem in the market and why Walk is producing this product. So currently in the US, there are 34 million patients with diabetes. And unfortunately, diabetes affects the blood vessels in retina. And this is a disease called diabetic retinopathy, which may lead to blindness. And this is a silent disease that has no early symptoms, and it usually appears in 1 out of 10 diabetic patients. And since it's a silent disease without any early symptoms, it's the #1 leading reason to the preventable blindness in the US. So the best way to address this problem is to screen all the diabetic patients regularly and determine the potential diseases earlier on. However, in the US right now, the screening compliance rate is less than 50%. So simply with portable retinal screening cameras and with telemedicine software, by connecting patients and doctors, this care gap can be easily addressed. So if you look at what I have done for this project is, as I said, my main goal was to develop a pricing strategy. So first I started with conducting research on market trends, competition, customers, and money flow in the retinal market. And after this, I did like a qualitative and quantitative analysis. And based on my findings, I did a customer segmentation. I also interviewed stakeholders to identify pain points and user needs in the retinal screening process. This was mainly very helpful for me to understand the value of our product in comparison to the ones in the competition. In addition to that, I performed market sizing, ROI, and NPV analysis. And this way I was able to quantitatively support my pricing strategy. As I was doing all these, I used critical research and analysis skills in order to conduct the market research. And at the same time, I used active listening and communication skills to interview the stakeholders. Agile thinking was another important skill set to determine the value propositions of the product, and also financial analysis, as you might guess, since a lot of this quantitative analysis requires market sizing and ROI analysis. So to do all of this, I used Microsoft PowerPoint and mostly the analytical tools in the Excel. If you look at what I have learned, I learned how to identify and determine a problem in the market and how to write value propositions of a solution. At the same time, I learned how to do a detailed market research and how to do customer segmentation. And out of all this things that I have learned, I think the most shocking part for me was to see how hard it is to balance the perspective of the customer and also the company when determining the price of a product. Because it's very hard to keep the 50-50% balance since both perspectives are very different than each other. And especially since this is healthcare, it's an important topic. So it was very interesting to see how these perspectives conflict and to make good balance. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for this chance again.